Today we are going to be making some absolutely amazing coasters that I think you all are going to flip for. And these are so cheap and so easy, and I promise you they look like they came from like Crate and Barrel. And all we're doing this for under $1. Like, I can't even, under $1.
Insane.
Yes, because you have to think about it. The tiles are very cheap, and we're doing you can get 4 of these trees. Actually, you could probably get more. It's not actually, I know you can get more of these on 1 sheet of WATERSLIDE decal. I did not, we're just doing 4. But anyway, so easily done, super affordable. If you have never worked with WATERSLIDE decal, y'all, today is the day. We're gonna learn. You're gonna learn this together. We're all about using new materials, working with new materials the past couple days. So I don't want you all to get scared. I don't want you to be like, I can't do that. I don't know what WATERSLIDE is. We're gonna teach you everything that you need to know to make these cute coasters. Let's go overhead and show them up close what these coasters look like. I mean,
are you
y'all,
kidding me? Those are so perfect.
They're so like, they look so store-bought. They look so professional. And like, I can't even with these. And yes, we are gonna seal these. We're actually gonna seal all of these with the Maker's Magic, and it still gives us a nice like matte finish, which I love. It's so cute. I'm gonna seal these again. I'm not gonna be able to seal the ones that we make today with the WATERSLIDE because it does have to dry down, but look at these, how cute. And y'all, the felt pads on the back, this is just a regular tile that we ordered, which I do really like the natural stone. If you don't like the natural stone, you can get just a regular tile, white or cream colored tile from Home Depot, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of your local hardware stores. And these felt pieces came from Dollar Tree. And we're just putting the felt pieces on the bottom for little feet. And they're just so cute. And you can make 4 of these for so cheap. Yes. So let's get to crafting and let's talk about the supplies that you need to make this project today. So yes, let's go ahead and go overhead and let's talk about everything we have here on the table. So the base of our project is going to be our tiles. Once again, if you want to see exactly where we got our tiles, our links are in the description down below the video. You have your tiles. Once again, these are natural stone tiles. You do not have to have the natural stone. You can have the smooth tiles if that's what you want. We are using inkjet WATERSLIDE decal paper, and I'm gonna move these so I don't break them. This is inkjet WATERSLIDE decal paper. We do love this brand, this Sunny Scopa. Never ever had an issue with this. This is the clear, okay? So that is why you can see the color of the tile behind this. This is the clear WATERSLIDE decal paper. They do have white WATERSLIDE decal paper. When you are working with WATERSLIDE decal paper, one part that is super, super important is your polyacrylic spray. Now, we love the Rust-Oleum. This is just a clear sealant, semi-gloss clear. This is gonna be very, very important when it comes to this process because once you print on the WATERSLIDE decal paper, you have to put 3 coats of this on here before you cut it, okay? I already have 2 coats on it at the moment. So we're gonna put a 3rd coat on it, we're gonna let it dry, and then we will cut it, okay? The next thing you're going to need, some felt feet here. These are just have the adhesive back on them, so all we have to do is take that little paper piece off and pop those on the back of our tiles. We do have a light grip mat. That's just to hold down our WATERSLIDE decal when it comes to cutting on our Cricut. And then last but not least, we have some Maker's Magic, y'all. This is taking over the crafting community. What is my Cricut doing? I turned it on and I felt like it spun that wheel for 5 minutes. Anyway, let's talk about this Maker's Magic. Number 1, I'm obsessed with it. This stuff really changes the game when it comes to sealants. I truly, truly think that it does. It goes on so nicely. This says it's a gloss finish, but like for this project, it doesn't give me like a super high gloss finish. But y'all, even applying it, if you didn't watch the video that we released last Sunday, this past Sunday, make sure that you go back and watch it, because we compare it to Mod Podge, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just so, so good. So we are using this to seal our project today. I'm just gonna be using a brush to seal it with, paintbrush. You can use a paintbrush, you can use a sponge, really anyone will be fine. We are just gonna be using a paintbrush to seal this today. With all of that being said, let's go ahead and before we get started, one thing that I do want to do, remember I told you guys that I had already done 2 coats of this on our water slide decal. One thing that I have to do, we have to do a 3rd coat on it. So I want to go ahead and put that 3rd coat on it super quick. That way it can dry. So while we're working in Design Space, this can dry and then we can cut it. You are going to cut it after you do the polyacrylic, okay? So keep that in mind. One thing that you definitely need to do when you are working with like a spray sealant that is in like an aerosol can, do this in a well-ventilated area, do this outside, do this not in an enclosed area, because y'all, the fumes are a lot. The fumes are a lot. So I'm going to step right outside this door in our studio super fast. I'm gonna give it a quick little spray and I will be right back, okay? Beautiful. That's how fast that was. Just a very light coat, nothing, you don't want to do it super thick. So while that door stays open, that's sitting outside drying, we are going to hop over into Design Space and let's go over to our website, not the font book. And if you just type in trees, this is going to be on page 6. This green Christmas tree, y'all, it is a beautiful, like I love this. I think it is so pretty. If I didn't already have 2 coats of that polyacrylic on the trees that I printed out, I would be probably using this one so that we would have 2 variations of coasters here at the office. So just know this is a really, really good option for this project. Okay, green Christmas tree is a great option for this project. Now, like I said, the other file that we're going to be using is going to get added to the website very soon, probably in the next 30 minutes or so, and then added into the description. But for right now, back in Design Space, you can see this is the tree that we're using. It's a little bit more realistic compared to this one that looks more like watercolor, which I love that. But this is the tree that we're going to be using, so we're going to add this to canvas. Add this to our canvas. Why do you use both the spray sealant and the Maker's Magic? Aren't they both sealers? Yes, Lorraine, they are both sealers. However, you have to use the spray sealant on the actual water slide decal for it to work. Okay, so it's not going to work if you don't have the spray sealant on the water slide decal. It's like it creates a barrier for that decal to slide off the backing and then stick to the medium that you're working with. And then from there, we're gonna put Maker's Magic on top of that to seal in the tile and seal in our seal our water slide decal onto our tile so that it is usable. Okay, so once we have our tree, whatever tree you want to use in Design Space, the first thing that I love doing is I love taking my blank and I love measuring so that I can get an idea of how large I need to make this. So no matter what tile you use, we are using a 4x4 tile. So once we have that measured, we're gonna go back to Design Space. Now you can use, I personally grab just regular shapes. So I just grab a normal shape. I'm gonna size this to a 4x4 square. You can see here. Now, if you want to, you can change this in your operations from a basic cut to a guide. That's gonna be your prerogative. I personally think it's a little harder working with it as a guide just because it's just this line, and I really want to see like how I want to see a solid square, okay? So what we're gonna do now, we are going to bring this to front. I'm gonna arrange, bring it to front, and you can see that we have this tree. If we were to just print it like it is, it's going to print out every single little thing, which we do not want to do. What you're gonna wanna do before we go any further is we're gonna add an offset. So with your tree selected, you're gonna come up here to offset, and you are going to add a pretty good little offset because like I said, we just want the outside of the tree, okay? And for some reason, Cricut is, I think it's because there's so much negative space in this tree that it does take it a minute to recognize everything. So we're gonna give it a minute to try
it's very complex and detailed.
Yeah, so we're gonna give it a minute to try to see if Cricut will recognize it. Let's cancel for just a second and make it a little bit bigger and see if that works. Oh no, now Design Space is just not working, period. What in the world? Okay, here we go. Offset. Okay, we're gonna cancel this. Jill says watching from work. Girl, same. So I'm just gonna, you know what, we're gonna zoom this, and I'm gonna change our canvas color to a light gray so we can see this with the offset. So what we have done, oh, now it's gonna give me problems again. Probably sized it too big. I tried to reload it too, and it's still not helping me for some reason. Okay, we're gonna size this back down and try not to have issues. So once you add your offset, let's try to add an offset to this now that we have, like, that's not as detailed. Like, offset's just not working for me, period. Just not working for me, period. Joy, can inkjet WATERSLIDE paper be used in a laser printer? No, it is specifically made for inkjet. Now, do they make laser WATERSLIDE? I'm not sure, but it's specifically made for inkjet. So anyway, Design Space is giving us issues. So what you need to do let me try force reload. Let's try force reload. We'll come back to it. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed that force reload is gonna work. And then if it doesn't, we're just gonna keep on a-trucking.
On trucking.
Okay.
Okay.
Review warnings on layer panel. Yes, Cricut, I know that that's too big. So let's try offset one more time. One more time. Tammy is listening while working, making for sale signs for my house. Are you selling your house and making your own for sale signs? Wow. Aww. Kelly's making baby blankets. I love that.
So cute.
What else is, Karen says, what else is new with Design Space? I had to walk away yesterday. I don't know. I wasn't having issues on my actual computer this morning. I don't know why it's giving us issues here. So anyway, let's go back. I'm gonna change the color so we can see this a little bit better. So what's gonna happen, let me unflatten this. So what's gonna happen when you do add your offset is your WATERSLIDE decal and your offset are gonna be two separate layers that you can see here on your layers panel. So what you need to do, I'm just going to center these back together. What you have to do for it to just print the outline, y'all, you have to make sure they are both selected, okay? You have to make sure they're both selected, and we have to flatten them together. So what that's going to do is it's just going to cut around the outside, and because this layer, this offset layer is white, an inkjet printer doesn't have white ink, so it's not going to print that, okay? So once you flatten your layers together, what you're gonna do, you are going to size it down to the proper size. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. How beautiful is that? Okay? And actually what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to reload Design Space. I just now thought about this. We're gonna replace. I don't wanna save this because I've already printed, so it has to be the exact size that I printed. And all I did was went in there and printed what we already had. So, what we're gonna do, I get it, Cricut, why are you not doing anything? There we go. We're gonna delete this out. And that's all you have to do. You're ready to go. Absolutely ready to go, okay? From there, we're gonna go to Make It. And this is where I like to tell Cricut how many copies I want of something. So if you make coaster sets of 4, what you can do, I'm changing this from 8.5 by 14 to 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper. And I am taking this up and I want 4 copies of this tree because I'm doing a set of 4 coasters, okay? Beautiful, love that. Once you have got to this point, what we are going to do, we are going to click Continue. We are going to send this to the printer. We will be using the Canon TS8100 series. For this specific project, I'm turning the bleed off and always using System Dialog, okay? Always use System Dialog. From there, we're going to click Print. The System Dialog will pull up behind here. You don't have to go get it, but if you want to go get me a bowl of water, you can do that.
I will go get you a bowl of water.
That would be beautiful because I did forget a bowl of water. Once the System Dialog is pulled up, what you're going to do is, we always love to feed things from the rear tray. So you're going to select rear tray, media type for this one. I chose photo paper just because the inkjet, the WATERSLIDE decal paper does have it's like a shiny paper. And I'll show you guys here in a minute when Sadie gets back. We'll go overhead and I'll show you what it looks like and why I chose photo paper. And then of course, we're changing our quality from normal up to best. From there, you would just hit print and then it would print your decal. Now, like I said, we have already printed, so we're not gonna go through that process. I just like to walk you through the process. So now, once it's printed, what you're going to do is you are going to start the process. I just stepped outside to get our WATERSLIDE decal. So you're gonna start the process of adding your polyacrylic spray. Now, I think it is best when we use 3 coats of this. So what you need to do, add your first coat, just a very light spray, but you wanna make sure you cover everything. And then you're gonna wait for 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, until it is completely dry. And then you're going to add your second coat. And you're gonna repeat that process 3 to 4 times. I'm just doing 3 for today. And then once it has completely dried down, we are going to let our Cricut cut. Now, since we're overhead, let's talk about what the WATERSLIDE decal looks like before it prints. So I told you all I would show you. You can see how shiny that is. So that's why I chose photo paper, just to get the best results, because it is that shiny, slick surface. So that is what our WATERSLIDE decal looks like before we add the polyacrylic spray. Now, after you add the polyacrylic spray, because this is a semi-clear or a semi-gloss, it does it mats it down just a little bit, and you all may not be able to see it, but you can feel the polyacrylic on there. Now, once you have done that, we are going to add this to let's do it right here. Add this to our mat. I'm gonna make sure I burnish it down really well. And I'm actually gonna burnish it from the back just so I don't damage any of the polyacrylic spray. Just gonna make sure it gets on there really well. Okay. And then from there, we are going to send it to our printer. Now, the setting, oh, it's not connected. Oh, that's why, because I forgot to disconnect this. Oh, I may have to go back for just a second. What's it doing? Y'all, I did bring my Cricut in here instead of using the Explorer that we normally use. So I'm gonna have to go back because, yep, we're gonna have to go back. Yes, cancel the cut. I'm gonna have to change it to a maker series. And then from there, we'll go back to make it. Okay, back through this process, 8.5 by 11, 4 copies. Sorry guys, I forgot that I had changed the machine. Beautiful, love that. Go to continue. We have already printed. We are using our maker series, and the setting that you are going to cut this on is going to be heavy cardstock, okay? We're cutting this on the heavy cardstock setting. All you have to do, you have to have a fine point blade for this, so there's nothing special per se, but once we've chosen that setting, we are going to send it through the Cricut. Now, the reason that we are cutting it on heavy cardstock is because we want it to cut through but like the actual water slide decal and the backer. And you'll understand why here in just a minute. Just gonna be real honest, guys, I really hope that this recognizes and cuts this beautifully because I did, like I said, I did print this earlier. I didn't move anything on my mat. So let's keep our fingers crossed that Cricut decides to play nice with us today and cut this where it should. Kathy said, does it have to be Rust-Oleum spray or can it be the polyacrylic brand spray? It can be the polyacrylic brand spray. It doesn't have to be that Rust-Oleum brand. That's just the kind that we have normally used. Okay.
Oh no.
Well, you know what the good part about this is there are 3 more of these that we caught it because Sadie is watchful. So I'm gonna grab a stickier mat. Okay.
Pow.
Except this one doesn't feel super sticky either.
What?
I mean, it does, but.
Could you use tape, maybe?
Probably, just to be on the safe side. Y'all know me.
Yeah, that was a little scary.
It was. Okay, let's try this again. Now, this is not necessary, guys. This is not necessary. Yes, Jen, I spoke too soon. But, you know, it's kind of like when you're crafting live, it seems to something has to go wrong. So we're just gonna tape this puppy down so that there's no way for it to go anywhere this time. Make sure it gets stuck down on this mat real good. Okay, let's try it again. We're gonna go back over here. Let's load it in. We are gonna be working with heavy cardstock. We're still on the same mat. Beautiful, and let's try it again. Now it is going to cut in this area again. That'll be fine. I'm just not gonna use that one. I will use a different one. So if this ever happens to you guys and you see it doing this, hit that pause button to stop your Cricut and then unload your mat, okay? So it's all good, no worry. Lorraine said, I was wondering if a light grip mat would be good. Normally it is, and honestly, this light grip mat it's pretty sticky. I mean, y'all can see, it's not super sticky. I don't know if it was just not in my favor. Maybe I didn't burnish it down super well. Like I said, I thought it did. Halloween may be over, but the gremlins are still causing havoc. The Cricut gremlins are, yeah, you are right, they are. How did we cut the same layer again? We just made sure that it was selected on our mat. Go to the share screen. We just wanted to make sure that this stayed selected, and you can cut that again, okay? So back to our Cricut. You can see it's just cutting the same area it was in a while ago, not a big deal. The pause button is, if you have a maker, it's actually the same on both an Explore and a Maker series. It's right here, these two little lines here. Now it may be different on the Explore Air 2, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's still right here. Yes, when in doubt, painter's tape out, absolutely, amen, hashtag retweet all the time. I keep a good old thing of painter's tape in my drawer right beside of me, so in case that were to ever happen, I can just pull it out and tape it down. Now, one thing you need to get prepared while your Cricut is cutting is a bowl of water. This is a water slide decal, so we are gonna be using water. And y'all, it seems scary, but it's not. Any good, reasonably priced brands of cardstock made in USA. Robin, we are obsessed with Celebration Warehouse cardstock. Check them out. I think it's like celebrationwarehouse.shop. If you just Google Celebration Warehouse, they have some of the best cardstock. It cuts like butter. They have shed-free glitter cardstock. Ashley Falco is the owner of that company. We adore her. She is such an amazing crafter, and she did a lot of paper crafting. So she used to have an Etsy shop, and she did a lot of paper crafting, and from there decided to start her own cardstock company, and we love it here at Maker's Gonna Learn. So check that out. We think you will adore that cardstock because we do. I think it's gonna be a winner. Now you can see that we have our water slide decal cut out. Let's go ahead and remove this. Now this is why we wanted to use the heavy cardstock setting. Y'all, look at that top one. It messed up just a little bit, but it still come out beautifully.
It's perfect.
Are you serious? Maybe I spoke again too soon, and maybe they were in my favor again. I don't know. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, like I said, the reason that we want to cut it on the heavy cardstock setting is because we want this cut away with the backing on it, okay? This is very important because this next step, you guys are gonna be like, what is she doing? She's gonna ruin it. But I'm not, I promise. I'm not. So what you're gonna do is you're literally gonna submerge your water slide decal. Look at that.
Wow.
What? That's what it does.
A little roly-poly.
It turns into a little roly-poly. And we're gonna unroll it. And if you leave it in here, you can see that it's gonna start coming away from the backing.
This blows my mind. Every time I watch this, it's so fascinating.
I know. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can leave it on the backing if you want to and bring it out, or if you want to take it off the backing. If it's more than one piece, I would leave it on the backing and bring it out and then arrange it, because you can start sliding it off here. And you do want your surface wet as well. And then watch. So like, I'm gonna add some more water here. Adding water to your surface allows you to arrange it the way that you want to. And then you're just going to smooth all of this out. And then you are going to set it aside to dry. Y'all, that's it. That's all you do.
That was so fast.
Yeah. So you do want to make sure, you do want to use your finger and like make sure there's no bubbles underneath it. So if you've ever used the wet method to apply permanent vinyl to a surface, this is the same concept as the wet method. It allows you to move it around, but it dries down sticky so that it doesn't move. So I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm just kind of dabbing this and kind of blotting this water off. And then look, y'all, it's not moving.
Karen made a good point. She said it's like those nail stickers.
Yes,
it's very
it is
similar.
It is just like the nail stickers, yes.
Yeah.
You can actually make your own nail stickers with WATERSLIDE decals.
That's a good idea.
And then put clear polish over them. So you can make your own custom nail stickers this way.
What in the world?
Yes, ma'am. And then that's it. Like, how easy was that? I mean, obviously I'm going to show you guys again because it was so easy. Let's do it again. Do it one more time. So I'm just pulling this off of our mat. Okay, am I in the center? Can they see this?
Yeah, you're good.
Beautiful. Are y'all ready?
Don't.
Oh! I just love watching it do that. And then you just let it sit there for a few minutes. It'll soften up.
It's just taking a little bath.
Yeah. Then it'll come off. And this time, let's take it off. I'll actually take it off the backing and show you how you can do it this way. So you can see I've taken it off the backing. It's still in the water. It's still fine. We're just going to pull that up. I'm going to wet the coaster just a little bit. Lay it down. Place it where we want it. I was afraid this was going to happen. You know what? I'm going to flip it around this way because there's a hole over here and I don't want any part of this WATERSLIDE decal touching this part of the natural stone.
That's what's so good about it. It's so forgivable.
It is so forgivable. Like I can even watch this, guys. I can take it off, put a little bit more water on it if it's not where I want it, and then lay it back down.
Just like that.
Like that's how easy it is. Like don't overcomplicate this at all. Do not overcomplicate, okay? And then we're just gonna take our paper towel and we're just gonna dab some of this water out. And y'all, that's it. That's all.
I feel like this craft would be very addicting.
Yes.
I would be making like 40 of these things in one day.
Yes, and these are so easily done on like cups, coffee mugs, whatever. Donna asked, can you overwork this project? Will it start to break apart? I've never had issues with that. Now, it might be not hold up as well if you don't do as many layers of the polyacrylic. But I've never overworked anything, and I've never known of anybody overworking the WATERSLIDE decal. So I don't know. I wish I could 100% answer that, like yes or no, but I've never done it, so I don't think you can. So now, wow, those edges just feel so nice.
It's seriously so seamless too. Like after I felt these, when I took pictures of them, it's so smooth.
Yes, yes. So now what we're gonna do, we're actually just gonna seal this bad boy with some Maker's Magic, and then we're gonna add the felt feet, and that's it. That's all we got to do. So I'm just gonna shake this up really good, make sure it gets shaken up. Somebody said, I predict there's gonna be a run on WATERSLIDE paper on Amazon. Yeah, probably, probably. So I'm just taking my Maker's Magic, and I am just going to seal this bad boy on here so that we can actually use them as coasters.
Can I just point out how thin this stuff is, like compared to Mod Podge?
Yes, it is very, very thin, but it gives such a good layer of protection.
Yes.
Now, personally, I'm gonna go ahead and seal the edges of this tile too. I don't think you're gonna be able to like tell a difference, but I just want to make sure that you can't tell a difference in the top to the sides. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of sealant here on the sides as well. Let's just hold it this way, get some of this stuff, and we'll just add some to the sides. And you can also do like 2 or 3 layers of sealant if you want to. Like if it makes you nervous, if you're the type of person that you're like, I really don't want this, I don't want it to go anywhere, you can add a couple layers, y'all. It's not a big deal. So once you add your sealant, you're just gonna set it over to the side, let that dry. Now, let's talk about real quick the dry time on Maker's Magic versus Mod Podge. So I don't know if you all have ever read the back of a Mod Podge bottle, But the back of a Mod Podge bottle, it says that the cure time is 28 days.
What?
Yes, did you not know that?
Ain't no way.
28 days for a true cure time. This has a 1 hour dry time, 48 hour cure time.
Wow.
48 hours for a full cure. That is a game changer, especially if you are selling crafts that you have to seal and you don't want any, like you want the integrity to hold up. If you were using Mod Podge to seal stuff and you're selling that, you truly technically have to wait 28 days before you can, because that's the full cure time. So Kathy said, I just ordered my WATERSLIDE paper. So this 2 days, that's insane. That is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Jessica, I feel like it's on all Mod Podge, not just dishwasher. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just dishwasher, but I thought that it was all. But I may be wrong. Like, y'all, I'm not perfect. Like, there's lots of chances for me to be wrong. So if I am wrong, I apologize. But I really thought it was 28 days on all of them. Anyway. Okay, great question. Someone asked, I joined late, why do you need to use the Cricut instead of using scissors to cut out your design? Well, let's just show you. I can't cut with scissors that good.
No way.
I can't do that.
It's very intricate.
Yes, and the reason that I don't want to just cut a square around it is because really and truly, like, I don't want the WATERSLIDE decal to be all over the coaster. I just want it in as few places as it can be. So that's why we did use the Cricut. But anyway, if you want to try it using, I'm going to clean my brush in our WATERSLIDE water here for just a second. If you want to try to cut it in a square, you can. But like I said, I wanted this decal to be on as few places as possible instead of just like a square all the way around it. This has been I feel like it's been a quick project.
Yeah.
Y'all, there was one last thing we have to do. We have to add the little feet to our coasters.
Yeah, the feet.
So, all you do, these are just felt pads from, I'm pretty sure they're from Dollar Tree. Y'all don't need anything like super nice for this, just some easy felt pads. What you would do, this is still drying a little bit, but we'll pick her up. We're just going to, let's just go ahead and take all of these off, and then we'll turn it over and put them all down at the same time. So what you're gonna do, add them in the corner, there, and there. And that's it. You have a beautiful coaster. How easy. I love it. I love it.
Today I have WATERSLIDE paper. I am not somebody to be like really particular on one WATERSLIDE paper over another. So we have WATERSLIDE paper, we have a sealer, we have our blanks, and we have water. Like, that's pretty much everything we have today. We also have a printer that's off camera. So this is what you're going to do. So we're going to walk you through the entire process. What we're using today is you can use any image that you want that is a print and cut image. So this could be a pattern, this could be any of our print and cut images. Today we're using some Western inspired files that are being released tomorrow. So this is actually a little sneak peek for our members to know what's to come tomorrow. So that's gonna be really, really exciting. And I cannot wait for you all to get access to these because they're really fun. So, such a great reason to get joined today if you haven't already. But yes, if we could go overhead, I can just kind of show you each product so that you make sure you know what we're doing. So first of all, our water. This is a WATERSLIDE decal, and I'm going to explain to you why you need the water here in a moment or two. But just follow the method for the madness because it's a little unorthodox. Like, this is not a typical 1, 2, 3 step process. You'll see what I mean momentarily. Number 2, this is our water slide paper. I've used water slide paper from Michaels. I've used We Are Memory Keepers. The results are pretty much very, very similar. So it's gonna let you know, I love the clear instructions, print the image, spray the acrylic sealer. What it's gonna recommend is letting the paper dry for at least 10 minutes. And you can use any acrylic sealer, which is awesome. It's gonna recommend even coats. And I like to do 2, honestly, 3 coats is like perfect, but 2 to 3 coats is what I would recommend today, okay? So that's super awesome. After that, after we've sprayed it, we're gonna let the Cricut cut our image. We're gonna let the Cricut do the work, and then here's where we're going to do a live demonstration that you're really like going to want to laser focus in today, because this is awesome. This is where we're doing the transfer and separation. So we are actually going to submerge the paper for 30 seconds to a minute, and that's going to separate the paper from the acrylic that we've sprayed on there, okay? We're separating the acrylic spray from the paper. So that's how that will be done in the water. And then what it recommends is to remove the paper from the water and quickly apply it to the ideal position of your clean decal surface. Press down firmly to secure the transfer. Now, what my tip here is, I personally love to try to get my surface wet when applying the image, and I'll kind of walk you through some tips for better results. So let me share with you, since we're still on overhead, y'all, these are the beautiful results. And I am stuffed up. Lauren, I just want to acknowledge that. As I bend over, you're going to hear a little sniffle. I feel amazing other than that right there. So just letting you guys know how we're doing today.
It's just the spring weather. I'm sure something's blooming.
I mean, it's like 70 something degrees. Like it's going to be upwards of 70 today. So we're super excited. And that's awesome. But look at these results. Like this is what I was saying. I wish you could feel these images. Like they just feel so good, especially on the wine glass. They feel so permanent. Such a great result.
So Beth had a good question. Beth said, is water slide a technique or a paper type? Or both. So really, water slide is both.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's a good, I love that question.
But it's also a technique that you use as well.
Yeah, because I think like if we peel out, let me just peel this out because this is a great question. If you peel this out and you look at a sheet of the paper, this is like glossy. I would say it's like close to photo paper. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, we're not saying it's photo paper, but like that's what I would compare it to, okay? So I would compare this to photo paper. And what it's doing is giving us the ability to have something to apply the sealer on. So you can see right here, after you've sprayed it with the acrylic sealer a few times, it doesn't really look any different. So let me just show you. I don't want to get these confused. This is when it's just printed, okay? This is when it's just printed. And then this is what it looks like after you have sprayed it 2 or 3 times. So they look pretty similar. You can feel it and feel the difference. It doesn't feel as glossy because our sealer is a semi-gloss sealer. So you're going to get whatever finish your sealer is, that's what you're going to get. Now, you're going to ask me, Tanner, do we have to use a semi-gloss? No. Whatever acrylic sealer you're looking for, that's what you want. We have just this clear sealer. It's awesome. Now, we're having friends ask, Tanner, can I use these on candles? Yes, these are definitely great to use on candles. So that's really, really awesome. So let's head over to the share screen. And I am so excited to share with you this, like all of our print and cuts. And just to reiterate, these are not for flammable candles.
Right.
This is just for decorative candles.
Please keep in mind this is just decorative. If you plan on using the candle, do not put it on there, just decorative candles. Now, if you have a candle with a jar that is in a jar,
which is glass, that's a
glass,
great.
and you want to put it on the glass that the candle is in,
Go for it.
Perfect.
Y'all go for it. Okay, so these are some of our print and cut files. So when you become a member, and I saw Shar or Cher is not a member yet, so I know you may be considering it today. Did you know you get access to our thousands of cut files? You're gonna get access to all of these printable cut files. I love the Be Kind piece. In a world where you can be anything, be kind, that would be a great one. I've done some of these watercolor images, like the barn with the flag. I've done water slide decals with some of our watercolors, and they turn out so beautiful. So I think you'll be impressed with that. But there are so many cut files you can use. Holidays, seasonal, whatever you're looking for, you will be able to do. So we're super excited about that. So yeah, lots of patterns, lots of, really unique images that you could actually, Lauren, speaking of your nails, you could take some of these patterns and scale them down, scale them up for whatever you would like to do. So that's really neat too. These live streams is like open Q&A, and like you kind of have 2 craft consultants ready for you. So come with us with all your questions, all your concerns. We would love, love, love to address those today. So these are the cut files. I'm so excited. I love giving little sneak peeks for our members to know what's coming. All you do, I'll just show you real quick because we have plenty of time today. Say we wanted to take, someone mentioned the avocado. So let me go back to the avocado. Say we wanted to download the avocado sticker, okay? We're just gonna download that. As soon as you download it, look, you can download cut files right from search, right from the browse. You don't have to open each cut file. I mean, that's really awesome. So now you can click the zip file. Boom. We've got our avocado down here. We unzipped it. Now we go into Design Space, and I'm going to share with you how easy it is to tell Cricut when uploading that this is a print and cut. So let's press Upload. Let's press now Upload Image, and now I'm going to grab my little avocado, drag and drop. Perfect. I just like to say, hey, this is a pretty complex image, Cricut, so give it a minute, okay? Press Continue. You could go ahead and take away this white background if you needed to, or you could leave it. I love the white backgrounds if you're making stickers. So you can press Apply and Continue. And boom, this, Lauren, right here is where you get to make it or break it. Do you want 2 random circles or do you want a true print and cut image?
Right.
This is where you decide. So obviously select print and cut, and now it'll say upload. Boom, super easy, press upload, you are good. So now you select it and you're in. Boom, boom, super simple. And my favorite thing about this right here is once you've uploaded a cut file from Maker's Gonna Learn to Cricut Design Space, you never have to upload it again. So I can go to upload and I can go to view all. I've uploaded 5,800 images in the time I've had my Cricut.
That's crazy.
account. So I could search dog, and here's all the dog files from Maker's Gonna Learn that I've uploaded into this program. So yes, you have to upload your cut files one at a time as using, but once it's in there one time, you have it forever. You have it forever, okay? So just wanted to explain that real quick. All you do now at this point is you have your images, you measure and size it. Ours is roughly 2.7 by 3.8. And then we have a smaller one that's 2.1 by 3. So just measure your cup, measure your glass, love, love, love that. And you're good to go. So you can press make it, and now that it's a print cut, look, you're gonna send this to your inkjet printer and you're gonna be able to print this all out. Once you print it all out, this is what it'll look like. So we can now go overhead. This is really simple. This is what it'll look like. As you can see, you have it right here. And then this is the time where after you've printed this out on the water slide paper, because you can't just use any paper, you have to have the water slide paper. Just wanted to recap for anyone just tuning in. Print it out on the water slide paper. And then this is where you are going to take your acrylic sealer, whatever sealer you would like. This is the one we are using today, the Rust-Oleum Semi-Gloss Clear.
Hold that up in the camera so that if they want to take a screenshot of that, because we've had a couple people ask exactly.
I love that.
So if you want to take a screenshot of this sealer that we use, take the time, if you're on your phone, your computer, take a screenshot of that so you know what we're using.
Yes,
which also linked below as well.
Oh yeah, but I love a visual.
Sometimes it's easier to see that.
You can get this at, you can grab this at Home Depot, Walmart. Like, this is just good to have. They have a lot of the sealers too at your local craft store. So if you're going out to the craft store, don't forget you can pick this up there. What you're gonna do now is spray this on your paper one time, and then after that, you're gonna let it cool for 10 to 20 minutes. Make sure it is fully dry. After that, repeat the same process 2 or 3 times. Yolanda, great question. Can I do print and cut on a laser printer? No, Cricut Print and Cut does not offer you to use laser. To do the print and cut technology, you must use a inkjet printer. And our friend's asking, is there a monthly fee? Yes, Makers Gonna Learn offers a monthly or yearly programming. Today you can go yearly and get like $70+ of savings compared to monthly, so that's crazy. So definitely check that out down below. After you have sprayed this 2 or 3 times, you will now have something that looks like so, okay? That will look like this. Either one of these, very similar. I think I'm gonna use this one because I think it has the 3 coats. But you can see here, it's just been sprayed. You can't really tell it, but it's been sprayed 2 and 3 times, and you can feel that now it doesn't feel like our water slide paper because now it has that semi-gloss sealer on it, okay? Now what I wanna recommend when spraying, I like to stay 12 to 16 inches away, light coverage. You wanna make sure it's even. And yes, you're gonna use inkjet, all right? So after you have been able to spray that, which we cannot do in our studio, I wish we had like Tanner and Lauren on the road where we could step outside and spray it with you. But
this is also something you do not need to do in an enclosed room. Take this outside, spray it outside, or somewhere that is very well ventilated, like a shop or something like that. Open air shop. Don't do this like in a bedroom.
Oh, please don't. Please take it outside. Like, be very well ventilated. I mean, it's acrylic sealer, so like you don't want to breathe that in. You don't want it in your nose. Like, that would not be good at all. So now that we've got that sealed and whatnot, you're going to take your paper and you're going to load it into your Cricut. But I've already, we can go ahead and go back to screen share because I want to show you the process. So let's go over here and select the Cricut machine. We're going to use the USB. An open garage would be good because it's going to be really well ventilated. And then 3 times would be really good. And guys, the base material settings are constantly changing with Cricut. So I don't believe there's a water slide paper setting. So you're just going to follow like a cardstock setting, okay? If I could spell cardstock. So you're going to be able to search this. I'm just going to do like a heavy cardstock setting because you want to be able to pretty much cut this all out so that when you submerge it in the paper, when you submerge it in the water, the backing will come off and everything like that. So there's that. Now, all you do is we're loading this into our machine. So we're just loading this in over here really easily, really awesome. And we're just going to let this go through. And just like so, love this, love it. And let's see if it cut all, oh look guys, okay. So it cut all the way through, that's awesome. Now let me tell you a little secret. So it cut off just a hair difference, but the best part is we'll never be able to tell because we're removing that white backing. So I love that. And the reason for it, maybe my Cricut needs to be aligned. We did cut and print, we printed this on a different Cricut and then we brought it in here. So that could be the process too. So I'm gonna take this one right here. and we're going to walk through this one. Let's do the mug first. So we'll teach the mug first, and then we'll do our wine glass. So we can go overhead if we're not already. Is this in frame? Is this in frame? Perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this sit for 30 to 60 seconds in the water. So what it's gonna recommend, I'm just gonna bring this in real quick, the transfer and separation process. Submerge paper in the water for 30 to 60 seconds to separate the base paper and the transfer. Remove paper from water, then quickly apply it to the ideal position of your clean decal surface. Press firmly to secure the transfer. Lauren, there is no glue. There is nothing. This is the technique. This is the beauty of it. And we love that. Rose, there's not a Cricut WaterSlide product, but this pack right here, you got 20 sheets. And I believe it's linked down below from Amazon. So, okay, I'm just gonna submerge this in here. You're gonna see it's already wanting to peel up. So we're just gonna leave this submerged in here. I've done a live stream on this prior, and I literally had a timer. I don't think that's gonna be necessary for today. We'll be able to tell. But one of my techniques is I need to make sure I apply this on like holding the mug. So I'm actually gonna just go ahead and wet this as well, because I prefer applying WaterSlide on a wet surface. It makes it easier for me to allow it to move around. So that's just a little tip. As we submerge this, I'm just gonna let this be wet.
So Melissa does ask, will the mug be dishwasher safe?
Lauren, it's a no. Like,
Yeah.
I would not trust the heat of your dishwasher, you know, to be able to do that. That would just be a little much.
If it's just, if you had epoxy over it.
Oh,
then yeah.
You add epoxy to anything, honey, and that's good.
Yeah.
Like for the most part. Okay, so it's starting to want to come up. Lauren, help me. I'm terrible with time. You tell me when you think it's been.
I think we've been pretty close to 30 seconds.
Oh, look at this. Look at this separation. Look at this separation. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh my gosh, guys, do you see this? Do you see this? Ooh, can they still see my mug? Oh my goodness, I love this. So look at this. So you can apply it here. I like water on the surface because now you are able to work it out and move it if needed. So look at this. I can straighten it up a little. How about it? What do you guys think of that?
Look how easy.
Right? So now what you're going to do is you can, take some paper towel and start dabbing it. But if you're happy with where this is positioned, you're going to, the water is my secret. So I've heard friends not put water on the surface that they are applying it. And I think that's why it wrinkles personally. So the water really helps me because I'm still able to move this around. I didn't have to fret, I didn't have to rush. I can even pick this up and make sure like, okay, when I'm holding this, how does it look? Y'all, if you can hear the train even better today.
I know, because I forgot to shut the door.
Well, I really am enjoying this. Y'all, our team have started afternoon walks outside to get some vitamin D. And I told the team we have to do it as soon as we get done with the show. Is this as permanent as vinyl? So I would say it is very permanent, but I also would say you can't get these amazing colors with vinyl. If you're doing one color, sure, but Lauren, you couldn't do like this layered vinyl. Mm-hmm. It's way more permanent than layered vinyl. So,
okay.
Yay, we're gonna let this cool for a second. I'm just gonna repeat the process with our next one. What's our questions? Let me know our questions.
Another question is, could you put this sticker on a car window permanently?
So it's very translucent. So let me bring in some glass.
Yeah.
This is a very translucent process. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't really be able to read the window decal, especially if this was like...
If you were on tinted windows, it would definitely be a no.
Yeah, tinted windows, you're out. You're out. So that's a...
For sure.
I would not say this is food safe either because what you're actually transferring is these chemicals.
Yeah.
You are transferring a sheet of acrylic. So be careful.
So it needs to go on the outside, basically on the outside of, if you're doing it on like dishes, it would be on the outside of a mug, not on a plate.
No, no food.
There was one really cool, I saw this at Hobby Lobby, and I thought that this would be an amazing project to make.
Tell us.
Is they had taken, and what it looked like to me is it was like a frame, and I'm sure some of our friends on here has seen it at Hobby Lobby.
If it's at the Hoblob,
y'all have seen it. But it looked like just a leaf that had been pressed between two panes of glass and framed, and just that, it was just the transparent glass. Well, I got up to looking at it, and it was like you could feel the decal on the back of it. So if you had a picture of like a pressed flower or a leaf and did the water slide decal on the back, like if you took a frame.
Stop it. You could do a big one.
Yeah.
Like that would be, and what I would do is I would use like a 8 by, or a 13 by 9 cooking sheet if you're gonna do something big, and use that, because you don't have to have like thick water. Like we just have a few inches of water. So the next step of the process, we're gonna do the smaller one on our wine glass. So what we're gonna do is we are just gonna submerge this in the water. And I think the smaller decals, they just do really, like they're even faster to remove the backing. So again, I'm just gonna submerge this in water.
Kim made a good suggestion, and I don't know if you mirrored it, could you use it, actually.
Yeah, you totally could. So
use it on the back of a cutting board, like a glass cutting board.
You could. Yep, you totally could. And it would be fairly permanent too, so that's awesome. So I love that.
Vanessa also asked, it chips very easily. Is there any way that we could seal it? Once again, we like using UV resin would be a really easy way to seal it.
Yeah, UV resin is a very quick way. Like UV resin takes the issue, away really fast. So I love that. And yes, we're having friends ask about the membership. There is a link down below you can actually click, and you'll be able to get all the details all about our membership and what you get access for what tier. So see, I have this wet wine glass right here, and when I apply this down, you're able to work with it. And the further up it is, the better, because it's more flat up here. So you could have went with the larger one or not, but this is the smaller decal. And as you see here, I'm able to just use my finger to work out any bubbles. This is the area where a lot of our friends in my previous video had commented. It was like, Tanner, get a silicone, why am I saying silicone so funny?
I don't know.
You get a silicone little brush, and you'll be able to do that. But look, y'all, you're able to do this with your hand, and this gets really permanent really quick. So you can just see here, work this all out. Love it. And I'm just pushing out the water. Like there's water underneath, but the water underneath is what allows us to not have to commit to it so fast. So
Amy says that she's only ever done water slide under acrylic. I'm assuming that's like the acrylic or epoxy.
Yeah.
Does it stay on the wine glass coffee mug without it being sealed in any way? So far, ours has stayed on very well.
Look at this. I mean, this is the one we did.
I think Alicia washed it a couple times.
We tested just to make sure it would do good. Now you can see here, this is why we don't recommend it in the dishwasher, hand wash only. You could see a little chipping. So if you're, worried about the ink or anything like that, just make sure. I would do more coats like on wine glasses than probably a mug and things like that. This is just acrylic, so just be mindful of that. And we love all of the different techniques. So yay!
And yes, this is one of our friends said that they love WaterSlide because they don't have a sublimation printer yet. This is a great alternative.
Yes.
If you don't have the money to invest in a sublimation printer,
this paper is very affordable.
Yeah.
Very, very affordable. So yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to do it on like textiles, like clothing, things like that. But cups and stuff.
Hello, who has not been looking for an alternative to use, for something for all the dollar store mugs? Like this is gonna give you some really great results really, really quickly. And this is almost dry. Like this is almost permanent. You can see here, just as it dries, it's gonna be super permanent. So It's just really awesome. So you don't have to do the technique where you put the water on the surface, but the reason why I love that is it helps me make sure that I have wiggle room. Because Lauren, if it's completely dry, it's goes like the water that pills up with it is so like it's not wet.
Right.
So you're gonna have to be permanent. You're gonna start ripping it if you have to move it, and then it'll be off center. So Deborah, when you say you make it look so easy, we follow steps to make sure that it looks easy for us and you. Which brings me to my next step of the process. Let's talk about what happens if you do a water slide on a textured surface. So this is what started happening to us when we were trying to do something on a more textured surface. We're actually going to do this other one, if it can fit, just to test and play around with, because we just asked the question of like, can we make this work? Will it work easily? Because a lot of times we could get it to work, but we want to be, you know, mindful of our new friends as well. So this is a little bit larger, but we could probably, should I do it this way just to test, or we should just
I would do it that way. I would just still do it that way.
I'll commit. I'm committing.
Commit to it.
We're committing to it just to give something to test out, just so you all can see what happens for more textured surfaces. So with the textured surface, we didn't find that it was as easy to apply, and
see,
it just literally came up. Okay, well, so anyway, we're gonna test this again just so that you guys can see it too. And hopefully kind of understand where we're coming from when we are recommending making sure it's a really, you know, not textured surface. So yay, love it. Are you guys learning anything today? If so, leave us a emoji, let us know.
We did have
this.
Now, we personally did not bake any of these. I know I saw some friends say that they had seen
acrylic. I don't know. Can they bake it?
They had said that they saw someone bake it. We did not.
We did not bake ours.
We're not going to suggest that you bake it until, because we've not tested it. Now, if we had tested it and it had been proven,
we would tell you.
We would tell you.
Yeah. So we're just letting that sit here, you know, 30 seconds or so. What's interesting this time around, I guess where there's smaller decals, mine's not curling as much. So the curling really scares me. But this is, you know, coming
Jackie
really
said
well.
that these would be really cute on LED candles, and those
the
would
LED
be
candles
so
would
cute
be perfect.
on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now here you guys go. Actually does really, it looks like it's gonna do really well.
Yes, so what happened with this one before is when we did it on the cup, it looked great.
Right.
And then it sat and dried, and then after it dried, it started curling.
Because it's textured, like you can't expect it to be able to do that if it's textured. So guys, that is the difference. Look at all these different alternatives that you can do. You can do the glass wine, you can do the wine glass, you can do the mug. The Tervis is not really a winner in our arena from our testing and whatnot, but now you know why and how. The textured cup, yes, if you do epoxy over top it, we were talking about that at the beginning of the show, any epoxy tumblers would be amazing for this technique, especially if you're sealing it with the epoxy on top. Like that's just go double support, double support.
And you could even, I mean, depending on how long you have to, you could do a small amount of epoxy underneath so you get that smooth surface.
I love that.
Then lay it down, let it dry, and then the epoxy over top of it.
Yes. Okay, so someone says my ink got messed up. If your ink is getting messed up, I would recommend making sure to do more layers of your acrylic. Make sure you got some really, really good layers of acrylic. And this is gonna be so much fun. Lauren, I think we're done, so I'm gonna come over real quick. Or actually, one last thing. All right, tell us what we need to know for today's following project.
Okay, so I last minute put together a Dollar Tree version of this for you all, or just like a Dollar Tree option, I guess. Yeah. We are going to be using fake pumpkins or faux pumpkins. They're actually called funkins, which is so cute. You can actually carve these pumpkins.
They're fun.
Like you can carve them and keep them every year, which I really like. So they're a little bit more pricey, but like at the same time, I don't know. I just really like them. They're good quality.
Yeah.
And I'm going to also be showing you all how to do a bow, like a fall bow.
Bows, I've been crafting for over a decade, and bows still just make me nervous. And I realize if I'll just do it, there's nothing to be nervous about.
Right.
But it makes me just not do it.
Well, they look daunting. And so
Yeah.
I think when you break it down into small steps, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here for.
Woohoo!
So should we start?
Let's jump into it.
Okay,
Oh my
let's
goodness.
go. Let's go ahead. Let me show you guys what we're making first of all. If you didn't see the thumbnail, this is what we're making. Are you kidding me? This is so cute. So
Yes.
we're going to be doing a water slide decal using Maker's Gonna Learn fonts and patterns today.
Love it.
I'm going to show you guys some little hacks in Design Space, making a bow. I brought some Dollar Tree options in here for you all, so it's going to be a good time. So let's go ahead and go over the supplies. So we'll go overhead, and this is all you're going to need. Now I've got like a plethora of ribbon over here because I got a little crazy. I love fall colors, so like I couldn't pick a ribbon. But the first thing you're going to need, obviously, is water slide decal paper. This is the Sunny Scopa. I've used this, and then I'm trying to think, Lauren, what's that brand right there beside you? What is that brand called? Spin It. That one is really good too. Those are the two that I use the most here. Tanner, do you have any water slide that you specifically use?
No, I mean, I started with the We Are Memory Keepers water slide.
yeah.
That's like kind of like my tried and true.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've never had an issue with any water slide.
Me neither. That's why I haven't had like a favorite or one that's significantly worse. So yeah, that's the one that I'm using today. You're gonna need some semi-gloss clear sealant. I don't know if it necessarily has to be glossy, but it does need to be a clear sealant, and I will explain how that works. I've got a standard to light grip matte. I have obviously a pumpkin. You're gonna need your fall bow options. All of these are Dollar Tree. Are you kidding me? Like, those are my favorite, and the colors are so pretty. These are Hobby Lobby. These stems are also Hobby Lobby, so you can use any fall stems if you've already got some on hand.
Love it.
You could just kind of throw any fall colors in there. Even just greenery would be really cute. And then I've got a measuring tool, a weeding tool, and some scissors. And also a hot glue gun. So we've got the Lynn Lilly hot glue gun here. And that is pretty much it. It's not a whole lot of ingredients.
That's awesome. I also want to let you all know, or let Alicia know, that Miss Carol Stanford's privately messaged me. It was like, what about a craft using a pattern and like incorporate sublimation? So today's training, you could actually use, if you're not interested in water slide, you can take this exact training and turn it into a really fun sublimation project.
You literally could. Oh, Carol, I'm about to make your day. Happy birthday week. Happy birthday week to you, Carol.
Oh, it's so
okay.
fun.
So after we get our supplies together, let's go to Design Space. And I'm actually going to go to our website. I'm just going to show you all what patterns I used and what fonts.
We are having the fall sale. If you need to grab your membership for $30 off, use that coupon code FALL. With the year membership. So
and if you sign up to be a year member, you're going to get to be at our October summit. Our member only summit. Our yearly members are receiving an invitation to that, and we have lots of fun Christmas crafts planned, which I'm super excited about.
It is so good.
Yeah. So I'm going to be using the pattern Fall Leaves here, and someone was asking what is water slide paper. So I'll go into more detail in just a minute. Let me show you guys what files I use really quick, and then I'll explain it as I go. So I've got the pattern of Fall Leaves right here. So it's not orange whenever you go to download it. If you're looking for an orange, we're going to be doing that in Design Space. And then I'm going to be using the font Conscience, or Conscience is how it's pronounced. And it's just like a block font. I will say, whenever you're doing water slide, especially if you're doing, you don't really want to do anything with a lot of detail. So like, I'm not going to want to pick a super detailed script font to try to water slide on my pumpkin. And whenever I start putting this letter on here, y'all are going to be like, I know what you mean now, because you just want to have a lot of edges to, that's not the way I want to say it. You want to have a lot of area to move around. If you've got a lot of fine edges, it's going to be really hard for you to get a good smooth finish. So this is the font we're using. And then we're going to need to go into Design Space. So I already downloaded that font, and I am just going to make a text box, and we're going to use the letter S today. And let me just stretch this out. Now, what you're gonna wanna do before you decide how big you want it is measure your pumpkin. So let's go overhead and we'll measure our pumpkin really quick. Is that good? Can y'all see right here?
Look at this. Now, I will say, Alicia, when you presented this idea, I was nervous.
I remember.
Because water slide is finicky. It is forgivable, but finicky.
Right.
And this is a pretty textured pumpkin that you're about to measure. So
yeah,
wow.
it is. And I will say, if you try to go in here with just regular vinyl, because it is got lots of ridges, it's not gonna do good. And I actually tried to do vinyl on this one before the live, and it was fugly. It was not cute. So just make sure. That's the reason that I like these, because they're not so rigid. But you could do a water slide on this. It's just going to be a lot more finicky. And when I start applying the water slide, you all really be able to tell. So I'm going to measure the area that I want the pumpkin. So I'm not going to measure from up here all the way down. I'm just measuring how tall I want it. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the top and at the bottom. And I don't want my letter to be bigger than 7 inches.
Beautiful.
So I've got 7 inches there. So let's go back into design space, and I'm gonna resize my design. Let's see. My height is gonna go to 7 inches, and then we can go ahead and change our font. So if you go into design space and you're not able to find the font that you downloaded, make sure to save your project and reload it, and then check your system fonts. A lot of times when you open the font box, you're not able to see it right here because you're under the Cricut fonts. But if you go to system fonts, you can see it right here. And oops, if I could spell it right, you guys. There it is.
Now, what font is this?
This is Conscience.
Conscience.
I
okay,
really
guys.
like this font.
I love it.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
It looks very classy.
It is. And I want to show you why, like if we change this font and we were like, oh, I really want to do like a really pretty script font, because in my brain, I also would love to do that.
Right.
I want to show you, like, whenever you go to do a water slide, everything is literally sliding around on water.
Yes.
So if you're doing a font like this, all these little ends right here on the S are going to be really hard to maneuver whenever you're trying to apply it to your actual pumpkin. So that's why I'm doing something a little bit safer here, but still really classy and elegant.
Love it.
So is everybody with me so far?
Alicia, I'm with you.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
this is rocking.
We're here.
I mean, the best tip I've got so far is my font needs to coordinate with my project, meaning these bulkier fonts are going to be best, especially with the pattern. Let's talk about a thicker font as well for pattern. So if you're doing print and cut, this is a great font for print and cut because you can actually see the pattern.
Right.
Alicia, can I also, I don't want to take away too much. I want you all to think about when you're cutting out vinyl as well. If you are shopping, I find it so fun to shop and purchase pattern vinyl, but from a practicality standpoint, very far and few in between projects actually allow for me to utilize the pattern vinyl. So you want to be careful about how much you're buying and things like that. So this font, again, would be great for pattern vinyl and things like that.
Yeah, and whenever you're using this thicker font, you're able to see more of the pattern. So if you're using a dainty font, which I don't recommend for water slide, you're not going to be able to see this beautiful fall leaf pattern in the background.
So no skinny fonts, no fonts with tails, as Carol said, when it comes to the water slide, and no skinny fonts when it comes to print then cut, pattern vinyl, or pattern water slides.
Right, right. So I went ahead and pulled a square into Design Space. I've got both of my patterns here. I've got my pattern and my solid color square. I'm gonna bring our pattern to the front just so you can see. Whenever you're picking the color that goes behind this, you wanna be able to make sure that your pattern's actually gonna show up. So if I wanted to come over here, I can just select any of the colors that we already offer, or that Design Space already offers, or I can go down to Advanced and kind of select a color that I would prefer. So I'm thinking we'll do like a burnt orange color. This is like one of my favorite fall colors, this burnt orange. I think it's so pretty.
It's so classy.
It's like a terracotta, you could call it. And then I am just going to, what I'm gonna do next, there's a couple different ways you can do this. This is how I prefer to do it. So I'm gonna bring my S to the front, I'm going to bring that to the front. I am going to duplicate, and I'm going to slice an S out of both of these.
People are loving your shirt, Alicia.
Oh, thanks. I made it yesterday. So what I'm going to do now is bring one of the S's over our background color. I'm going to select them both. So click and drag to select them both, and I'm going to slice it. So we're not going to need any of this business. We just need this guy. And then I'm going to go right here and do the same thing. So you're going to click and drag, select both options, slice it out. And then once it slices, we're just going to need the patterned S. So delete that, and oh, we can't do that because, oh, there it goes. Okay, I was like,
You're like, where's my design?
And then so you've got these two S's and it looks crazy. What I'm going to do is click and drag and put them together and align them in the center.
Best hack ever.
Best hack ever. And then before you do anything else, you're going to need to flatten everything. So we're going to go ahead and flatten that, and that makes it a print then cut image. And so I'm going to delete this old one because we don't need it. And I'm going to go to make it. And we don't need to reflect anything. We're just going to keep it as it is.
No need to mirror anything.
Right, no mirroring. I call it reflecting a lot. I'm sorry. Okay. So just keep it like this. You're going to see the black registration box. That's totally fine. And you will select continue. We are using a Maker 3. And I have already printed mine. And then I'm going to select WATERSLIDE. So there is a cut option for this. Just kidding.
Amanda, if you need to practice slicing, check out our 30-day challenge if you're a Makers Gonna Learn member, because you can learn how to start slicing and things like that. It would be really, really great to learn all these basic functions of Design Space. And when you become a member, you get access to a ton of that, which is super fun.
Lauren was trying to raise her hand for a question, but so normally I use a Maker, and I could have swore I used a WATERSLIDE option. Am I totally wrong on this? What would you normally cut your WATERSLIDE paper on? Copy paper?
No.
I thought I cut it on WATERSLIDE paper.
Maybe we just cut it on vinyl because it is kind of like a.
It's like a multi-layered material. It's not just paper. Even though it looks like copy paper, it's like the film and then there's an underneath paper. So let's just cut it under a vinyl. And it's not going to matter because we're going to be separating it anyways. We're going to be separating it from the backer. So I'm just going to use a basic vinyl cut setting, and I will select done. We don't need to do more pressure or anything crazy like that. And then we are going to go ahead and put our piece of paper onto the mat. Now, before we do that,
I just went back and referenced. We've cut this on medium cardstock. We've cut this on a vinyl setting before.
I feel like I've done it a couple different ways too.
We haven't had any issues cutting it. It's pretty simple when it comes to cutting.
Yeah.
You can choose anything. This training I was watching from ours, we've cut it at medium cardstock and it cut great. So,
yeah,
whichever.
So whatever works for you. And so before we actually do this, now I pre-did this because we are in a studio, but what you're gonna do is print it out. So this is fresh out of the printer, okay? This came straight out of the printer. I'm gonna take this outside or to a well-ventilated area, and I'm going to take this semi-gloss clear sealant. This is clear, okay? And I'm gonna spray a good even coat, nothing heavy, just a good solid coat over this. Let it dry 10 to 15 minutes. Go back, do a second coat. So we're spraying a second coat on here. Let it dry, come back 10 to 15 minutes and put a third coat on. And then you need to let it dry completely before we actually put this into the water. And do you know what I did, Tanner?
What?
Didn't bring the water in here.
Well, let me go get you a little bucket.
I got my bucket and I didn't bring it in here with water.
We had the ice bucket make an appearance, and today we'll have you a little
water bucket. It's on my desk in there. Okay, so Tanner brought me our water. Basically what I do, anytime I do a water slide, I just kind of have this little bucket of water ready to go. But I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this first, and then we're gonna slide it in the water. So I'm just gonna sit this right up here, and we will go ahead and apply our water slide to our paper. And you'll notice after you put on your sealant, it's not rough. It almost feels like a fine sandpaper, like a very fine sandpaper. And you guys, if you've never seen a water slide decal be put in the water, it's kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah, it's wild.
So I'm gonna go ahead and send this through. I've got a regular fine point blade in here right now, and we are cutting this on the vinyl setting, just normal vinyl setting. No added pressure or anything like that. Okay, I just got an error, and it says that it's not reading my print then cut marks. So I'm
Did you
just
already spray it?
Yeah, but I've cut it before.
Right. Sometimes that could happen. What we
Right.
like to do, this might sound a little crazy, we like to like move the location or do something different. So for example, Lauren, could you turn off our main studio lights just to see if that will make a difference for our cut? So she's go dim and turn off 2 of our lights. This is what I love about live streaming is you get to see things experience live. So what could have happened was these really bright lights have been able to reflect onto our water slide decal paper, and then we're not able to read the print then cut.
And we do this
lines.
in the craft studio all the time.
Yeah, we move
We
things
will turn the
around and
lights
so much
off.
more.
If we're trying to print and cut, the lights will go off if it doesn't read it,
Yes.
especially with glossy paper, I've noticed. It's because it uses a lot with the print and cut. It's using a lot it's basically scanning this bar. And so if the light is hitting it anyway, it's not able to recognize that box. So let's hope that this works. Okay, go ahead and cut it. It cut fine the first time I did it, so we'll see. Let me show you all what it looks like, what the paper looks like before we sprayed it with sealant, because it looks a little bit different before we actually spray it.
Okay, is it detecting? Okay, it's scanning. Let's see how far we get in the process.
Oh, I'm a little nervous.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, you can turn the lights back on because it did not read this time.
It didn't read it either?
No. So there's a couple different things that we could do.
Let's talk about it.
We could reprint it.
Yeah.
We could reprint it and try to send it through that way.
But we're live.
But we're live. So why don't we just cut it out?
We're just gonna do a little hand cutting.
Let's
This
just
is back in
old
the day.
school.
Back in the day, they call this fuzzy cutting.
Oh, we're
let's go
heck.
fuzzy cut it. While you do that, let me teach you something that I learned. You have to have it cut that. She's doing everything the right way, y'all.
Okay, so, and this is just how it is in crafting. You just roll with the punches. I'm just gonna sit this to the side. Okay, are y'all ready for this?
Woo-hoo.
This is the fun part of water sliding
This
for
is
me.
so fun.
Okay, so I've got my bucket of water right here. Can you all see that really well? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my pumpkin ready. And you can even use, I'm gonna take these ribbons out and use this little bucket right here. It's good to use something to add some stability to your pumpkin so it's not rolling around everywhere. So I'm gonna use this guy and I'm just gonna sit my pumpkin in here like this and set it to the side.
Now, everyone at home, do you love water slide decals? Do you struggle with them? Let us know in the comments while we're doing this. Let us know your experience.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear from you. Let us know if this is something you love, that you struggle, maybe you've never tried it. Let us know.
Okay, also before I put this in here, I'm gonna have my weeding tool ready. We're not weeding anything, I'm using this to lay my design flat. So here we go. I'm gonna drop this in. Are y'all ready? It's gonna curl up real good, just like this. That is expected. So you wanna make sure to fully submerge it in the water, and you can actually kind of unroll it a little bit, okay? And this water is gonna seep underneath that top layer, that film of clear sealant that we put on there. And we're gonna be removing the backing from behind the sealant. So.
We have some friends saying, never knew it was a thing, still haven't opened my Cricut, but watch all the time. Allison, have you grabbed a membership? We grabbed the membership, get plugged in. Let's walk with you on this journey so that you can master that Cricut. Because if you love the show, if you love what we do here, you'll love working with us in the community. Never tried a decal.
How well can y'all see this?
So
if I put it on here, y'all can see exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, if you can. Beautiful.
I think that'll be pretty steady. Okay, I'm gonna put something.
Y'all, if anyone's looking to try anything new, I want to encourage you to try this out because this is a really fun, once you do one water slide decal, you'll start using it more and more on surfaces like this because it is really cool.
So you guys can see that the backing is trying to separate. What I like to do, and now there's a couple different application methods for this.
I like to pour water all over my surface.
Yes. A lot of people like to pre-dampen.
Yes, I like to have it like that.
Let's
That's my
do
tip.
that. And you will find a little bit of bleeding from your ink, but it's fine. We'll wipe it clean after we're done. So I like to kind of get it where I want it. And you can see it's just sliding around right there. I'm going to start pulling this backer out. So just start pulling, and I'll be very careful because it is finicky. It will try to tear. And this is exactly why I told you all to use a thicker font.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're having to pay attention to all those little crevices on the dainty fonts. And this way it's going to be a little bit more easier. And actually, I'm going to take my scissors and cut this off. Just be careful not to cut your top layer. I'm just going to cut that off.
Da-da, da-da, da-da. So I like to have that water on the bottom so you have that flexibility like we talked about at the top of the show, where you can move it around, you can make sure any air bubbles are out. It's really nice to have that extra little water under there so you can just work it out. So now is the fun part. She's got it on there, and now's the perfecting stage. And this is where I was like, I just don't know. I mean, Alicia is doing a large image on a very curved and textured surface. So if she can do this on, with this type of environment of the project, really big, it looks beautiful, and the curved surface, you could do this on a flat surface.
And you can splash some water. Honestly, a spray bottle would not really be a bad idea.
I do usually
have a spray bottle.
But your trick with the, as long as there's water, it
just needs to stay moisturized.
Yeah,
so what I'm doing is just kind of working the wrinkles out as I go, as I work my way up here.
Yes.
And that's why this weeding tool is so handy for me, because I can get up under there without getting my whole finger.
That's amazing.
And so this is really helpful. And so you're just going to smooth it out as you go.
So Heather says, how long can you handle the decal before you can't move it anymore? So Heather, with the water slide, as long as there's water, it can slide around.
Right.
When you're done, once it's positioned where you want it, that's when you start drying it out, smoothing out all the water from underneath, and it'll start drying. And that's the glue. That's what holds this together. There's no additional glue.
Which is kind of crazy because it's water.
So April says, is this the same as using water with vinyl?
No, it's a different material.
Yeah, it is different. The mindset is kind of similar. I will say with WATERSLIDE, I think you have more working time than when you don't use WATERSLIDE.
So what I'm doing now is just kind of going in with a paper towel and just drying this out everywhere.
Now, Christine says, was this printed on a special printer? No, this was just using an inkjet printer on
standard
WATERSLIDE
inkjet
paper.
The good thing about WATERSLIDE opposed to vinyl also is that you're not going to get all of those little wrinkles where the crevices are, because you all know, when you apply any vinyl to a curved surface, sometimes it's hard to get it to lay down flat. And so with the WATERSLIDE, it's bendy. So you can kind of flex it to where it's going to fit without causing a whole lot of wrinkles.
Can you flip it up just so that you can see it a little better?
Okay, this is where we're at. What do you all think?
So this lasts quite a while. I've had WATERSLIDE projects last 2-3 years already, and they really stay the same. I will say dust does attract to the WATERSLIDE decal.
Does it?
A little bit, but you can clean it off. That's my only response. Looking at it later.
And you all can see I did this one quite a while ago, and it's standing up really good.
I love how it embraces the curves and embraces the texture, and it looks very, very, very permanent.
It looks store-bought to me.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm gonna set this to the side and let it dry, and I'm gonna talk to you all about making your bows. So I'm just gonna sit this right here.
A lot of people are asking, is it straight from your perspective? Yes, it looks a lot straighter
in real
life. On the camera, I will say it was looking a little odd.
Because it's the pumpkin is weird shaped because it's tall and
Yes, and with our WATERSLIDEs, we do not usually seal them. We do not usually seal the projects. They're kind of.
I mean, it's going to be sitting on your fireplace or it's not going to be doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking about the bows. So this is the original bow that I made here. So I can show you all exactly how to make this. What I'm going to recommend to you guys, wired ribbon. If you're making bows, wired ribbon is like numero uno, because if you go in, and I love these Dollar Tree ribbons. These are great for rag style ribbons where you're just tying a knot in the middle, and so they're kind of flimsy. And I can make a rag style ribbon for you all if you would like. But if you're gonna make a big, like fluffy bow like this, you're gonna need to buy wired ribbon. So both of these are wired. And then I've got my florals right here. These are from Hobby Lobby. The dollar store sells some really cute.
We were very high-key impressed this year.
Yeah, they sell some really nice fall decor, or I'm sorry, fall floral decor, I guess you could say. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a strip of this, a strip of my glitter. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over. And then I'm gonna take the same size strip of my gingham, that's the checkered.
Yes.
Okay, I want them to be, I don't know, what is this, 28, 24 inches-ish? It doesn't have to be that, depending on how big you want your bow is how big that you need to stretch it out. Okay, so I've got both, and what I'm gonna do, can y'all see this really good? Okay, I'm gonna take this side, I'm gonna fold it over. So it's kind of coming at an angle, okay? I'm gonna hold it right here in the middle, do the same thing over here.
Whoa.
Okay, so it looks weird. We're gonna cinch it.
Stop that.
And so it's like a perfect little bow.
Okay, how many of us want Alicia to teach a bow making masterclass inside the membership?
I mean, we can make it happen.
I just need you to teach me that.
I can show you.
Okay.
And then so you can either cinch this with some twine, you can cinch it with another piece of the ribbon, which is what we're gonna do today. So I'm just gonna cut off a little strip of this, and I've got my hot glue gun on, and I'm gonna clean up these ends as well here in a minute. I'm just gonna wait and do it at the end.
That looks so good.
And so what I like to do for my middle portion is fold this. Can you all see that? I just kind of folded it in on itself. So it's like a little roll of the gold ribbon. And I'm gonna lay it on top here and then flip it over. So you can see this is up front.
Look at that.
I'm gonna actually trim this just a little bit because I'm gonna glue it to the back of it. Okay, oops, I let go.
Crazy.
So I'm gonna take this tail and I'm gonna put some glue right here and fold it over. I'm hoping my glue
Alexandria
guns.
says, I make bows to sell. Good job.
Thanks.
Woohoo.
I used to work at a place and we did door signs and I had to make all the bows for everybody.
You're a natural.
Like mass making bows in like 30 minutes for like 50 people. So be careful not to burn your fingers. And then I'm just gonna hold that on there for a minute and then I will trim this off, and let's go ahead and trim these edges. And then we're gonna add this as well as the florals to our pumpkin.
We're going to have this bow making class like ASAP.
Is everybody liking it?
Yes. I'm gonna be like the first student.
You're gonna be the first student.
Yes.
Okay, also, this is another little tippy tip. If you're wanting to do these edges right here, this type of edge, I don't know if there's a name for it, like the double point edges.
Yeah.
You can basically take your ribbon, you're gonna fold it in on itself, and you're gonna cut up towards the folded edge.
Yeah.
So you're gonna cut up towards the folded edge.
And then look what happens. This is one of my favorite things I also learned at Stampin' Up.
Did you?
Yes.
We need to go to Stampin' Up.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you do. And then so fold it again, and you're always cutting towards the folded edge. So this is my folded edge. This is the open edge. I'm cutting up towards the folded edge, just like this. And there you go. Dovetail.
Look at that.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna do this one up towards the folded edge.
Wow.
The sharper your scissors, the better this is gonna look.
Oh yes, you need specific like fabric, like ribbon scissors.
Ribbon scissors are different to me
best.
from fabric scissors because the ribbons have those wires in them and they will ruin. If you've got good fabric scissors, Okay, and then I'm gonna trim this little tail off, and then you can kind of fluff your bow out.
Love that.
So fluff it out, the bigger the better when it comes to bows. And I'm just gonna pull this all down. I mean, also I was a cheerleader for 16 years.
Wow.
So.
And now you're a volleyball player.
Oh, I'll play rec league volleyball, you guys. Don't
So
don't get it
fun.
twisted.
No, I love it.
Oh, okay, so there's our bow. And then what you can do, there's a couple different ways that you could do this technically. You can attach these together with like some jute twine and then just glue all of this to the top of your pumpkin. Let me bring it over here. Actually, let's go like on camera 1. And what I would normally do is kind of attach all of this together so you can glue it all together and then glue it to your pumpkin. I don't know how straight that is. So this is,
Wow.
yeah, you would just glue everything all together.
That was so quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna attach these just so y'all can get the full finished effect. But what I would do is take these little florals and let's go overhead. I'll do this with this laying back. I haven't applied florals this way, but wish me luck. So I'm gonna take my hot glue gun. And if you're ever working with florals, just get a hot glue gun.
Oh,
You're gonna
yeah.
need it. I worked at a florist and they had these little, they weren't crock pots, but they were just like pots
Of hot
full
glue?
of hot glue.
And you would like have a spatula or what
No,
would you?
they would dip the stems. So it's like a little melting pot, a
like a
little
melting
simmering
pot of wax,
and it was full of
but
hot glue.
hot glue.
And they would dip their stem and then you put it in the wreath. Dip it and put it in the
No
wreath.
way.
Lauren's going.
I love this.
And that's how they were able to do their stuff so fast. And man,
Yeah.
those girls were good at their job.
That's incredible.
Okay, and then
We're
your
learning trade secrets today.
trade secrets. I'm not a pro though. I just worked there for a little moment. And so I'm gonna glue this on. Listen, hot glue.
It should only take 10 to 15 minutes for your letter to dry from the water slide.
Yeah.
That was a great question we're getting. I also take paper towel to help speed that process up. But 10 to 15 minutes is good. And it might still be a little damp, sure, but just be careful.
Okay, I put a good dollop of glue on there for our bow, which is our finishing touch. And then what you can do, once it's completely dried, and mine is not, don't try to move it when it's not dry. Once it's completely dried, you can feather out your stems.
Love it.
I mean, that's it. That's
did it.
all of it. I
Yeah.
feel like that's pretty easy.
It's only 12:48. We're not even,
Honestly-
we just hit the 45-minute mark.
Honestly, y'all, the bow is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And you just need to make sure that you keep your water slide decal
Yes.
moisturized and make sure you keep water with it. If you need to grab a spray bottle, that's super handy. Just make sure you keep it wet and use your weeding tool to kind of get all those bubbles out.
Yes,
But
and
yeah,
Jill, you could totally sit this outside. I would just be careful, maybe somehow adding a weight to it or making sure, because it is a it's a foam pumpkin, so the wind will blow this away. But everything else is going to stand up really well, especially during the fall season. Can you put dried water slide decal projects outside? Yes, you totally can. I would feel 100% confident with that happening. So, yay, y'all did it! Woo-hoo! Following day 8.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So that's it.
How is following almost over?